Okay. So we started this thing called the craziest stories of the week. And this story is definitely very crazy. Imagine waking up one morning to your roommate peeing on your face. No, this isn't a joke. And it's not an episode of Jerry Springer. Apparently, according to this young woman, it actually happened. And the university hasn't done anything about it. Let's go ahead and get into the craziest story of this week. Ladies and gentlemen, NYU student, here we go.
I woke up to my roommate pissing all over me and all over my bedding yesterday morning. I hope this is a very concise way of telling the story, but I'm so frantic right now and I don't have a place to go. So this is my cry for help. On Friday, I sent a message to my roommate. I have known this girl. I thought that she was fine. I thought that we were fine. I knew that we were not going to be roommates. I knew that we wouldn't be roommates for the next year, but I was honestly okay with that. So on Friday, April 11th, I texted my roommate saying that she needed to be more quiet in general on the phone. This is the text message that I sent to her on Friday at 7 p.m. In this message, I said, can you please be quiet? Quieter, you can read the message yourself. I didn't think this caused any problems. I texted her that. I got no response. So 7 p.m.
I'll read it to you. She said, hey, I really would appreciate it if you could put on headphones and be a bit quieter when you're on the phone. Today and in general, I just want a little quiet time. This is blurred out. Sometimes it can be disruptive for me with the volume of your calls. I usually put my headphones on, so I can't see the full thing there. But yeah, it's interesting. Like back in the day, like I would have just told my roommate this, like, hey, can you keep it down a little bit? But, different time, different age, different thing. And people text this to each other instead of having this conversation in person anymore. Sometimes I hate smartphones. Let's go on.
In this message, I said, can you please be quiet? Quieter, you can read the message yourself. I didn't think this caused any problems. I texted her that. I got no response. So I'm thinking that she understands where I'm coming from and everything is fine. I was wrong. At 5:26 in the morning, I wake up to my roommate squatting over my face, my arm, and my bedding, and she's pissing directly on me. It's all over my sheets. It's all over my bedding. I say, what the fuck are you doing?
Imagine waking up to a stream of pee in your face.
Something along that lines. I don't remember exactly what I said in the moment. She looks at me and she goes, oh, sorry. Like she wasn't expecting me to wake up. I was so utterly disgusted and I did not know what to do. So I took all of my bedding off of my bed and even it was down to the mattress. The mattress was soaked in piss. My mattress topper was soaked in piss. Everything was. I took all of my bedding off one by one. I realized that my mattress was soaked. So I go to the bathroom. I start to realize how traumatizing this was, how bad this was in the moment. And I didn't know what. I was just trying to keep myself calm because I knew that I couldn't do anything too bad in this situation. So the first thing I did was I took a rag and I washed the piss off my own bed and I put all of the fucking piss covered things in a corner in the room.
So first of all, one thing that I want to add that I first thought about is you don't know what kind of diseases or illness this person could have. I'm just thinking about that. We're talking about urine, fluids, like you just don't know, right? So that would be like my first concern. Like, what does this person have? This isn't the first time I've heard a story similar to this. There was another story where it was two roommates that were in college. They did not get along. And one of the roommates continued to get sick. She kept going back and forth to the doctor and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. Come to find out, she didn't trust her roommate. So she put little cameras in their dorm room, and she saw her roommate taking her toothbrush and putting this is gross, guys, but her roommate was taking her toothbrush and basically like putting it up her booty and more other stuff that I don't want to get into. And that's why she kept getting sick. Now, she sued. She filed a lawsuit, which is exactly what I recommend that this woman does. I think that you need to sue. I worked at these colleges. I'm telling you, a lot of times when things happen on campus, the administration, the people who are in the positions that are supposed to help conflict resolution don't really resolve anything. And my favorite is the office that says they are mediators. We are here to mediate a situation between the two of you. They don't actually do anything. So if your kid's going to college, I'm here to let you know that, folks, these offices on campus that say we're here for mediation and student conflict, they all introduce themselves during orientation and sometimes open house. They don't actually do anything. They don't solve anything. They don't resolve anything. It's basically, and I said this before, I don't know why these people even have these positions, because they don't resolve anything. She would have been better off calling the police, filing a report, and suing her roommate. Let's continue.
So I washed it all down, and then I knew that I would have to leave eventually. So I put a sheet on my bed. I lay back down. I didn't know what else to do. So I lay back down, and then the moment I wake up in the morning, I start to get my shit together. I get a bag. I start packing it. I start getting ready to leave this place. So after that, I leave and I go to another person's dorm, someone of my very close friends. I call campus security and I tell them what happened. I report this situation. I visit another dorm on campus, and as I'm there, they tell me to go to the campus security desk and talk to them. So I talk to another CSO, which is a campus security officer. He then calls the police, and then another security campus officer talks to me. I explain the situation. I'm explaining how I don't feel safe going back there, and they are just like, okay, we understand, right? So then I talk to someone from Res Life, and I'm like, this is what's happening. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This happened to me. What are we gonna do? What are the next steps? And she's just like, oh, we can do nothing until Monday. This incident happened Saturday morning. So yesterday night, I had no place to stay. I had to stay at a friend's dorm. Thank God that I was able to stay somewhere. But like, that should not be the exception. It shouldn't have been. First of all, she shouldn't have had to leave in the first place. She shouldn't have had to leave. If anything, the roommate should have been the one who had to leave. But guys, I'm trying to tell you, these things happen on campus. I've seen these things happen before where the roommates have conflict or whatever, and the roommate does something to said roommate, and the person who usually ends up leaving the room and trying to find somewhere else to sleep is the person who was attacked. Because like I said, these offices at these universities, they don't actually solve anything. They don't really fix this thing. And this is NYU. NYU doesn't have a lot of housing anyway. Not be okay to pay so much for security and you're not secure. I come back to the dorm and I'm packing up all of my shit. Like, not all of my shit because I can't. So I'm packing up anything that I feel like is valuable to me, and I get out of there. I'm at the security desk of my dorm and I ask him, what are they going to do for me? Is there any RA that can come see my room? Is there anyone that can come attest to this or just, address this? I talked to someone on the phone, an incident reporter or something like that. He says to me that there is no way that they will find a place for me to go, and nothing will be done until Monday morning. So I'm stranded. My phone is in charge. I go to a friend's dorm. It was a lot. So then after that, it's Sunday now. Nothing has been done. My roommate is casually at my apartment after she committed a crime against me. I filed a police report. I did all of the right steps. I don't know what else I could have done.
The weird thing is that she cleaned before she called the police. The initial response should have been to contact the police instead of cleaning. You don't want to clean up the evidence.
This situation, NYU is not helping me. They are not doing enough about this. This is a safety risk, a safety issue. I feel so utterly violated as a person, as a human being. And for NYU, who praises itself about its security and having RA at home, and they know RA came to see me ever. I've only emailed an RA and they have talking to me. That's it. I am so upset, and I do not feel safe going back to a room where I know someone is like did something to me. And I hate to cry. I hate to do this, but this is like my reality right now. And I could not imagine going. I'm so upset that I have nowhere to go. I'm going to a campus building because I don't know. I can't go home. Meanwhile, my roommate gets to be at home with no consequences, no actions, nothing. I don't think this has happened to anyone else, but if this has happened to you, what would you do? Give me some advice, anything. This is my story, and I hope it reaches some people, and I hope that me saying this story does something, because genuinely, this is like one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Anyway, that's my life right now.
Yeah. First step, call the police. I wouldn't have cleaned up any of the evidence because that was evidence. And as disgusting as it may be, I wouldn't have cleaned that up. Would have contacted the police. This is one of the big mistakes I think that college students make. They think that the university is actually going to do something and actually gives a damn. Most of the time they don't. There was a girl that walked around Columbia University, I think for almost a year, carrying her mattress. She was sexually assaulted, and the university wouldn't do anything because the guy who apparently attacked her was in her class. Like, they don't care. They just want your money. They just want your money. But that is utterly gross, but it's not the first time I've heard something about that, like a similar situation at these universities. Some of these kids do some nasty things. I have seen some things, okay? You'd be surprised some of the things that I've seen happen at these universities. Absolutely gross. Craziest story of this week, ladies and gentlemen. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.